everyone. This is Dr. Live with New Insight. And thank you so much for joining me in another video. The title of today's video is Understanding Your Triggers. Triggers are powerful. They can shift your mood, your thoughts, and your behavior in seconds. Triggers are people, situations, or experiences that create physical, mental, or emotional distress. And that distress can show up physically, such as headaches, muscle tension, fatigue, or stomach issues. It can also show up psychologically, such as anxiety, anger, depression, irritability, or feeling overwhelmed. Some people are more easily triggered than others, and everyone will respond differently when they're triggered. What's important to understand is that being triggered is human. Reacting without awareness is optional. If you do not understand your triggers, they will control you. If you do understand them, you can learn to control your response. So triggers can be external, something outside of you, internal, something within you, or both. And it is important to note that although the trigger produces thoughts and emotions, it does not force behavior. You are still responsible for how you respond. Now let's discuss examples of external triggers. External triggers can include the following: someone cutting you off in traffic, an unauthorized charge on your bank account, someone speaking to you in a tone that you do not like. An internal trigger could be automatic negative thoughts, insecurities, painful memories, fear of rejection, or urges. So, using the traffic example, someone cuts you off. Immediately, thoughts of anger or disrespect may surface. Your body tightens, your heart rate increases. However, how you respond is a choice. Someone with poor anger management or emotional regulation might curse, yell, or the situation could escalate into road rage. Someone with awareness pauses, breathes, and chooses a different controlled response. And this is crucial. Your response matters. For some people, reacting to triggers is almost a knee-jerk reflex. They say or do things impulsively, they escalate situations, and they create negative consequences. That can lead to arguments, relationship damage, financial problems, legal issues, and even someone being hurt or a loss of life. Triggers are serious, and not because they exist, but because unmanaged reactions can be destructive. And it is a fact that you won't be able to avoid every trigger. However, do understand that regardless of whether the trigger is intentional or not, you still have a choice of how you react. And you alone are responsible for your behavior, meaning what you say and do in response to the trigger. Being triggered does not automatically mean offense or something was said or done wrong. For example, a parent, friend, pastor, doctor, or therapist may say something that triggers you. That does not necessarily mean they are disrespectful, insensitive, or harmful. However, your thoughts might interpret it as such, and as a result, your feelings will also. This is why it's so important to check your thinking and be mindful of thought traps. Ask yourself, is this a fact or feeling? Am I mind reading, jumping to conclusions? Am I taking things personally? Thought traps can and will intensify emotional reactions. Understand that feeling triggered can actually be an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to increase self-awareness, challenge unhealthy thinking, regulate your emotions, improve impulse control, strengthen decision making, and build effective coping skills. The goal is to be proactive, not reactive, to respond thoughtfully and intentionally instead of impulsively. Because emotional maturity is not about never becoming triggered. It's about managing yourself when you are. The best immediate response to a trigger is to stop and delay reacting. If possible, remove yourself from the situation. Distract yourself temporarily and take slow, controlled breaths before reacting. Then check your thinking. Ask yourself, what exactly about this situation is upsetting me? Acknowledge your thoughts and feelings. Don't dismiss or suppress them, but also don't react on them. Understand that your triggers are not your enemy. They are signals. Signals that something needs attention, signals that there may be healing to do, and signals that growth is possible. You cannot always control what triggers you, but you can, however, control what you do next. And that shows maturity, self-control, and power. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.